electric down the middle of the field, and the Giants offense needs that in a big way.
He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A giant first down, Manning to an open Beckham.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty dark. And this will be caught at the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Odell Beckham, 63 yards. And the Giants are going to take a first-quarter lead. Excellent start there. First drive of the season, big-time success, putting it in the end zone.
And remember, that was done without any real map of how to do it. In other words, the deeper you get into the season, you got game film to work off of, tendencies to work off of. The first drive of the season, things can be entirely different than what you've seen in the past. It's a really good job of execution by them.
Aldrich Rosas on for the extra point. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Rosas now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. Leading the charge is the UCF product who hails from right there in the Orlando area in Altamont Springs, Blake Bortles.
And you can see why he was the number 3 pick when he came out in the NFL draft. 6'5", sturdy guy, strong arm, led his UCF team to a big bowl victory over Baylor, and runs the ball way better than he's ever given credit for.
To throw is Bortles. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Give him 30 yards there.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
Green 80. Green 80. Green, that's Green,
they go play action here on first down. The 20. And he completes it to Westbrook. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Give him 30 yards there.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Into the red zone, it's Bortles. Incomplete, over the middle, Safarian Jenkins. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And put a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Green 80.
Here's Leonard Fournette, 1,000-yard rusher from a year ago. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable. You know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. No one ran the ball more than the Jaguars in 2017, and we could very well see another carry here on 3rd and short. Bortles looking to throw on 3rd and 2. The quick slant caught. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. In for the score. And the Jaguars are an extra point away from taking the lead. Well, we heard it, how heavily they stressed effective goal line offense this week in practice. Pays off there, they punch it in.
Now not only have we heard it, we saw it. All that preparation, and what it means is going back and examining what's been going wrong before. How can you correct it? Maybe it's even changes of personnel, but it paid off in this situation.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Giants making their way out, and at this point you would have to think that all mentions of last year maybe erased from team history, or at least that's what they want. Yeah, clearly, Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, the talent on this team, too good for another 3-13 finish, right?
And I think that was reflected in their draft in 2018. Because if it was an all-out rebuild, they would have drafted a quarterback at number 2. Instead, they drafted Saquon Barkley. So that signals to me they want to get back to running the football and trying to punish people on offense and take the pressure off of Eli Manning. And on the defensive side of the ball, they obviously have to get better. But believe it or not, you know who can really help them there? Their head coach, Pat Shermer. Comes from a defensive family, understands how valuable it is, and loves the toughness and the identity that a good defense can provide.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with the football here as we begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Throwing is Manning. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Malik Jackson. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. Remember this Jacksonville D, 55 sacks a season ago.
I think they want to fight for nickname supremacy with Pittsburgh. Remember, they were just one behind Pittsburgh for the overall lead in sacks last year. Pittsburgh known as Blitzburgh. Jacksonville, they're known as Saxonville.
Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The Jags heading out on offense. Last year we said, Charles, one of these years it has to come together for the Jaguars, doesn't it? Well, guess what? It certainly did. They won double-digit games for the first time in 10 seasons, and they picked up 2 more wins in the playoffs before falling in that tough one to New England.
And they decided that on offense, they were going to be a team that knocked you off the ball and ran it. That's why they drafted Leonard Fournette out of LSU, and he gave them some toughness and an identity. Quarterback Blake Bortles, often criticized, but elevated his play in the playoffs, both with his legs and his arm. But the defense, that's where the big transition happened. Yannick Ngakoue coming off the edge. Calais Campbell, maybe the best player in the defensive line in the league last season. But Jalen Ramsey out at corner, he gives them their swagger, he gives them their look, and he gives them great play on the edge.
We got 380. 380.
A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. That's into the hands of Westbrook over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Let's go.
Well, that's pretty much how they teach as a DB. Hit him and have some force with it. Yet he still caught the football and got the yardage he needed.
A little deflating.
Very much so.
Defensively.
Yeah, because you're trying to police up that area, and you don't want them to come in there, and you're hoping some good hard tackles will keep them out of there. In this case, he just said he just shrugged it off and went ahead and got what he needed. That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
380.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Yeldon. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
380.
Now Bortles. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
And sneak attack. They're going to run for it. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a 1st down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Dante Moncrief, his first touchdown as a Jacksonville Jaguar. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. We get a look at Sterling Shepard as he and the rest of the offense march out into place. And you look at the numbers, not only has he not caught a pass, they haven't targeted him yet, and we're coming up toward halftime.
And you remember our meeting with the coach beforehand? What did he tell us about him? I write his number on my play sheet, and I circle it in bold type because I want to make sure he gets the ball and often.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley, and he stopped immediately there. Malik Jackson there to make the stop.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. A reminder coming up at the half, we hook up with a new guy, Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis, and more importantly this year, scores and stats from around the league here in Week 1. So do not press that skip button. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram, and brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Clock rolling as the Giants will hurry to the line. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Manning to throw on second down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Manning now on first down. He rifles one that's intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start out on the ground. It's T.J. Yeldon, and he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Bortles gives to Yeldon on the draw. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down. Bortles to the former Jet, Safarian Jenkins for the Jags' first down. Bortles now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Bortles. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Bortles now on first down. A throw left side complete to his receiver, Westbrook. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And Lambeau will put this one through. And that will extend their lead here to 17-6. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Flag down. This can set him back. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out.
There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. A reminder, 4 more games set to kick off later this afternoon. Chiefs, Chargers, Seahawks and the Broncos, Redskins and Cardinals, and then the Cowboys against the Panthers. Second half begins with a run by Yeldon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
And while that play was unsuccessful to start the second half, I'm not sure that you just totally abandon what you do running the football. Maybe you make some adjustments in your run game and do things a little bit differently, but that doesn't necessarily mean you just go to the pass and do nothing else.
To throw, it's Bortles. He's going to launch this thing way down, and he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. A gain of 32 that time.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place, but what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Now a play fake here on first down. And his pass incomplete. The intended target, the tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. And that'll bring up second down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Wide open receiver complete. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They give him a gain of 38.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
It's a nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's first and goal just outside the 5.
Green 80! Green 80!
They'll try and run forward with Fournette. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And that's incomplete. They've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal?
Green 80!
Working from the gun, it's Bortles. And he is going to be hit and taken down. Bortles sacked. Mario Edwards. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up fourth down. And Lambeau will put this one through, and that will get the lead up to 14. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, That no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On second down, here's Barkley. And he's got room. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
And you remember pre-draft, there was a lot of speculation that the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of Eli Manning's career and give them 1,000-yard seasons year after year.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard season since 2012. Ahmad Bradshaw did it then. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock down the rim, but on second down.
Over the middle to Beckham. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Manning going to try and throw on third down. It's caught. Shepard. And he gets it down to the 48. Enough for the first. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. On second down, here's Manning. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Manning able to find OBJ there for a Giants first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? He'll let it go deep, and this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Set. Green 80. Green is on. Green is second.
So after the INT, it's Bortles. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Mario Edwards in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And the defense loses him. It's complete. 20. Touchdown, Jaguars. Third touchdown pass of the game for Blake Bortles. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It's certainly. Is any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
A little work still to do, though. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for second down. Now Saquon Barkley. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it third down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But the bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them.
And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
This is taken at the 23. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. There have been no struggles here for this crew. I mean, they were up double digits at halftime, and they just expanded that here in the second half.
And it appears there are no answers from the defensive side. I think right now, if I'm the coordinator, if I'm down on the field, if I'm wearing a hat, I've already thrown it. If it's a visor, it's sail, right? My game plan is down by my feet right now because nothing I've drawn up appears to be working.
Well, he's going to have to find something right now to stop this offense. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On second down, here's Fournette. And he'll get this up only to about the 33.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Jaguars on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. On play action, it's Bortles. Looking deep downfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Janoris Jenkins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. So after the INT, it's Manning. And this is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
On second down, they run with Stewart. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. Now a play fake. Manning, he's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there. Manning to Shepard, 48 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On play action, now Manning. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They begin with a run by Yeldon, and he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Green 80. Green 80. Green is on.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Fournette. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. The Jaguars on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for the Jaguars, not much to complain about here. They come in and steal a victory in a tough place to play on a Sunday night. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from MetLife Stadium.